Listen to part of a lecture in a sociology class. Good morning. I'm Professor Gates, and welcome to Sociology of Science and Technology. As you already learned from one of your history classes, the Industrial Revolution refers to a period of time generally from the late 1700s to the early 1800s. During this period, the production of goods was greatly assisted by machines and factories. Less work was done manually, and this meant that many items were made at a time, quickening the entire production process. Clothes that were once sewn together by hand were put together with sewing machines in a much shorter time. Written publications, formerly done with small tubs of ink, were written and copied in bulk using large conveyor belts. The Industrial Revolution started in Great Britain, but it quickly spread into the remainder of Europe and the Americas. In a short time, a large amount of goods became available to the general public around most of Europe and the Americas, causing international trade to flourish. The general consensus is that the Industrial Revolution ended around 1820. That didn't mean that factories no longer produced things in large quantities, however. It only meant a decline in both new ideas and advances in production. I guess it was unrealistic to expect the unprecedented advances made during the Industrial Revolution to continue longer than they did. Nonetheless, anyone who enjoys the modern ideas of today's technology, such as the computer, should be thankful for the Industrial Revolution and all inventors of the past. Until the boom in the Industrial Revolution, science and technology were virtually independent. Many years ago, technology referred to telescopes, telephone poles, chemical laboratories with the newfound ability to boil liquids and store compounds into beakers and other inventions. As industrialization became more complicated, the application of science was labeled technology and not basic science. But all this poses an interesting topic of discussion. What exactly is the relationship between science and technology? Second, which one benefits from the other? Which one causes the other? One opinion is that science starts the process. The advance in science led to improvements in technology, which created machines and factories. This opinion certainly is valid, thinking in either today's world or in that of hundreds of years ago. However, unavoidable problems with technological advances have led to the discovery of new areas of science. This indicates that technology in turn promotes more growth for science. No one can deny that desire for wealth was the motivating factor in all these changes. As people were generally becoming more open-minded and were pioneering land across different parts of the world, the Industrial Revolution rightly spread the belief that economic benefits would follow, which turned out to be very true. However, people did not strive to invent new things solely for financial rewards. There were many discoveries which were humanitarian in nature. For example, those who engaged in the discovery of the polio vaccine didn't dedicate their lives so they could make a lot of money. Their major objective was to find the cure for polio to save many lives. In a sense, there will be continued improvements in medical science, and it will not end as long as mankind exists. Scientific and technological advances made since the Industrial Revolution certainly enabled us to have resources to feed starving people all over the world. However, the fact is there are still many people who suffer from hunger and poverty, and some of them don't have chances to be educated. In light of this reality, we can assume that these are not technological issues, but instead they are social problems. Some say that we have placed too much emphasis on technological advances. Faster internet access to all computers in an office dwelling should be a secondary concern. They believe that society should work on providing food to people who desperately need it. I believe those who maintain this point of view have valid reasons. However, we cannot overlook the importance of the continuous technological improvements. All advances in science and technology, as well as the people who helped in contributing to them, should be recognized. At one time, individuals were not able to watch anything on television or turn on a fan or air conditioning on a hot day. During a power outage, for instance, we probably are made aware of what we take for granted. Yes, it is a fact that we cannot expect all scientists and engineers to be humanitarians working for the betterment of mankind. We must find the delicate balance between the need for providing financial incentives for the developments made in science and technology and the need to create a society in which many can benefit from those inventions. Much of what I have mentioned will be the issues to be discussed in this class. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I would like to go over the course syllabus with you. Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer. 23. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question. Less work was done manually, and this meant that many items were made at a time, quickening the entire production process. Why does the professor say this? Less work was done manually. (24) What does the professor imply about the Industrial Revolution? (25) What does the professor say about technology? (26) What does the professor mention the relationship between science and technology? (27) Indicate whether the statements below describe social problems mentioned by the professor. (28) According to the professor, what could be an example of what people take for granted?